Time is one thing you cannot get back. Once it's gone, every second that passes is a moment lost forever. And how you choose to use that time shapes your life. This video will show you why time is your most valuable resource and how treating it with respect can change everything. You'll learn practical ways to protect your time, focus on what truly matters, and make every day count toward your goals. If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like the hours disappear without progress, this message is for you. Watch closely, because understanding the value of time is the first step to taking control of your future and living a life filled with purpose and achievement. Let's get started. Number 1. Respect time by planning every single day ahead. Time is one of the few things we can never get back. Once it's gone forever. Most people think they have plenty of it, but the truth is, time moves quickly. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months, and suddenly another year has passed. What matters most is not how much time we have, but what we do with the time we're given. You don't get to decide how much time you'll have on this earth, but you do get to decide how you use today. That's where the power is. Planning your day is the first step to taking control of your life. If you don't plan the day will run you. It will get filled up with other people's priorities, distractions, interruptions, and a lot of things that do not serve your future. The only way to protect your time is to take responsibility for it before it starts slipping away. That begins by deciding before the day begins how you're going to use it. Sit down every evening or every morning and ask yourself, what do I need to accomplish today that will move me forward? What do I need to stop doing that's been slowing me down? What time do I need to wake up to get things done? Who do I need to avoid because they keep stealing my focus? These questions matter because they guide your direction. Without a direction, you'll just drift, and drifting leads to wasted time. People who fail to plan don't always lack ambition. Often they simply haven't been taught how to treat time as valuable. But when you start planning your days, something changes inside of you. You begin to feel more clear. You start to notice where your energy goes. You begin to live with purpose instead of on autopilot. And once you taste that clarity, you won't want to go back. The people who achieve success, they don't just show up and see what happens. They walk into every day with a map. They know what matters, and they make time for it. They block time for learning. They block time for their health. They schedule time for their relationships. They even make time for rest. Why? Because they know the truth. Time is not unlimited, and the clock never stops ticking. Don't treat your time like it's free. Treat it like it's priceless. Because once today ends, it never returns. The best thing you can do is become someone who honors each day by preparing for it with thought and care. Write down your top 3 priorities. Break them into small tasks. Set alarms if you have to. Keep your schedule visible. Build discipline around it. The more intentional you are, the more powerful your time becomes. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about making small, smart decisions every day. One of the smartest decisions you can make is to plan before you act. People waste time reacting to everything. They jump from one thing to the next. They check their phone first thing in the morning. They answer every notification. They move with no direction. And by the time the day ends, they wonder where the time went. That doesn't have to be you. Your future is shaped by what you do daily. Not once a week, not once a year, every day. That's why planning is not optional. If you want to grow, it's essential. It's how you set the tone. It's how you align your time with your goals. When you take 10 minutes to plan your day, you save yourself hours of confusion and regret. You stay focused. You feel in control. You move with confidence. Think of how you feel when you waste a whole day. Think about the guilt, the pressure, the frustration. Now think of how it feels when you finish what you set out to do. That feeling of progress, of pride, of peace. Planning gives you that feeling more often. You deserve that feeling more often. Planning is not a boring task. It's a sign that you take your life seriously, that you care enough to be prepared, that you don't want to waste another day waiting for something to happen. You want to make things happen. You want to take action. And action without a plan is just noise. But action with a plan is progress. Start simple. You don't need to plan every second. Just block out time for what matters most. Protect that time. Don't trade it for distractions. Don't give it to things that don't build you. Start saying no to the unnecessary. Start saying yes to structure. When you plan your day, you're sending a message to yourself. I value my life and I won't waste it. That message grows stronger each day. You live it. It turns into self-respect. It turns into results. You stop living by chance and start living by choice. You wake up with direction. You go to bed with peace. You become consistent. And over time, consistency becomes achievement. You don't need to be busy to be effective. You need to be focused. Planning helps you stay focused. It filters out the noise. It keeps you from chasing everything and catching nothing. And that's how you get ahead. Not by doing more, but by doing what matters. Every great achievement is built one day at a time. Every transformation begins with daily decisions. Respect your time by respecting your day. Start the day with clarity. Don't wait until the afternoon to figure things out. Don't rely on memory. Don't leave it to chance. Write it down. Schedule it. Own it. You won't always feel motivated. But if you've planned your day, you'll have a structure to fall back on. You'll keep moving even when you don't feel like it. That's what builds greatness. Doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. And when you start respecting your time, people will start respecting you. When you show up prepared, consistent and clear, you build trust. You show others what you stand for. You show them that your time is not up for grabs, that you value yourself, that you're serious about your goals. Time is too precious to live casually. Plan your days like your future depends on it, because it does. Plan your days like your dreams depend on it, because they do. Plan your days like you know your life has purpose, because it does. You can't control how much time you have left, but you can control how well you use it. Planning is not about being rigid. It's about being ready. It's about having a plan for progress. And progress gives your time meaning. Start now. Don't wait for the perfect week. Don't wait for January. Don't wait until things calm down. Start with the next day. Write it out. Set your focus. Commit to it. And follow through. When you do that every day, you start building something real. Something lasting. Something worth remembering. Number 2. Guard your time from people who waste it. Your time is the most limited and valuable resource you have. It cannot be refunded or paused. The moment it passes, it's gone forever. And yet, so many people give it away carelessly. Especially to those who don't value it, you have to understand this early. Your time is not for everyone. Not everyone deserves access to it. There are people who don't care about your goals. They don't respect your boundaries. They bring no clarity, no growth, and no purpose into your life. They just take and take. If you're not careful, they will drain your energy, consume your hours, and leave you empty with nothing to show for it. The truth is, not everyone around you has good intentions for your future. Some people enjoy being stuck and want you to stay stuck with them. They waste their own time, and they'll have no problem wasting yours. If you want to grow, if you want to change your life, if you want to accomplish meaningful things, then you need to start protecting your time from those who do not align with that mission. This isn't about being rude or cold. This is about being clear and responsible. Your time belongs to your purpose, not to their chaos. Start paying attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do you feel motivated or drained? Do you feel lighter or heavier? Do you walk away with clarity or confusion? These signals are not random. They are feedback. If someone constantly interrupts your focus, talks endlessly, without direction, or expects your attention without giving you respect, that's a clear sign. You are not obligated to entertain people who don't value your time. If someone repeatedly shows you that they have no discipline with their own life, then they likely won't have discipline with your time either. You need people around you who move with intent. People who understand that time is a tool, not a toy. Friends who encourage your boundaries, not ones who take it personally when you set them. If someone gets upset because you're not always available, that's not your problem. That's their lack of respect for your priorities. People who waste time often live on distraction. They chase comfort. They avoid responsibility. They seek attention more than truth. And when you spend too much time around them, that way of thinking starts to feel normal. It weakens your discipline. It makes your focus blurry. Before you realize it, their habits start pulling you backward. That's why guarding your time is an act of self-respect. You're not pushing people away. You're pulling your future closer. Guarding your time means knowing when to say no. Not every invitation deserves your yes. Not every phone call needs to be answered. Not every conversation needs to be extended. You have the right to protect your schedule. You have the right to protect your peace. And you have the right to protect your dreams. Some people will not understand that. They'll label you distant or selfish. That's okay. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to grow, to serve, to build, and to lead a meaningful life. That takes intention, and intention demands space. You need space to think. You need space to work. You need space to reflect. And that space can't exist if it's constantly filled with noise. You weren't put on this earth to answer every text, attend every event, or solve every problem that isn't yours. People who truly care about you will understand this. They'll support your goals. They'll respect your limit. They won't take it personally when you choose focus over small talk. It's not just strangers who can waste your time. Sometimes, it's the people closest to you. Family members, old friends, co-workers. They may love you, but they might not understand where you're going. They may distract you without meaning to. That's why you need to be even more clear about your standards. Being close doesn't give someone a pass to waste your energy. You can love someone deeply and still protect your time from them. That is not a contradiction. That is maturity. Your time is not an open door. It is a protected gate. Only those who respect your journey should be allowed through. That doesn't mean you isolate yourself. It means you become more intentional with who gets your time. The more you grow, the more valuable your time becomes. And the more valuable your time becomes, the more selective you must be with who gets it. Don't ignore the silent cost of time-wasting relationships. Every hour spent in pointless conversations is an hour you could have invested in your craft, in your learning, in your healing, or in your future. Every distraction disguised as a friendship takes energy from your purpose. Some people want your presence, not your progress. Don't let them win. Create strong boundaries and be proud of them. Start setting clear limits on your time. Let people know when you're available and when you're not. Stop explaining yourself to those who only listen to argue. Your time is not for debate. Your time is for development. You don't need permission to put yourself first. You don't need approval to protect your peace. If someone doesn't understand that, they probably shouldn't have access to your schedule in the first place. Use your time to build habits that serve you. Use your time to work on your goals in silence. Use your time to prepare for the life you want. Stop sacrificing your future to keep people comfortable. The people who belong in your life will support your growth. The ones who don't will resist your boundaries. Let that be the test. Guarding your time is a daily commitment. It's not a one-time decision. It's a choice you make over and over again. And it gets easier with practice. You start recognizing the patterns. You stop feeling guilty. You begin to value the quiet. You begin to love the clarity. You start living your life on purpose. When you protect your time, your entire world changes. Your stress drops. Your focus sharpens. Your goals get clearer. You stop feeling pulled in every direction. You begin to lead your day instead of reacting to it. You have more energy because you're no longer drained by meaningless interaction. You begin to walk taller, think sharper, and act wiser. You must be strong enough to say no without guilt. You must be focused enough to stay on your path when others want to pull you off it. You must be disciplined enough to walk away from comfort and choose growth. Because at the end of the day, your time is your life. Every hour you spend is a piece of who you are. Don't hand that over to people who won't use it well. Give your time to growth. Give your time to peace. Give your time to purpose. Number 3, use time wisely by focusing on what matters most. Every day you wake up, you're given another chance, another 24 hours. And how you use those hours is going to decide how your life turns out. It's not the number of hours that matters, it's what you do with them. There are people who have fewer resources, fewer opportunities, fewer connections, and they still move forward because they stay focused on what actually matters. They don't waste their time chasing everything. They invest their time in what brings them closer to who they want to become. Most people struggle, not because they don't have time, but because they don't protect their focus. They're pulled in every direction. They spend their hours on tasks that look important, but mean nothing. They scroll, they complain, they try to please everyone. And before the day ends, their energy is gone and their progress is invisible. If you want to live with purpose, you have to stop being busy with things that have no value to your future. You need to decide what actually matters to you. Not what the world tells you, not what everyone else is doing. What matters to you? Is it your health? Is it your growth? Is it your family? Is it your dream? Once you know what that is, that becomes your compass. That becomes your filter. Everything you do, everything you commit to, must pass through that filter. If it doesn't serve what matters, it doesn't get your time. Clarity is what keeps you moving in the right direction. Without it, you'll drift. You'll say yes to too many things. You'll be productive in the wrong areas. You'll feel busy but go nowhere. That's what happens when your time is spent on things that don't align with what you actually care about. You cannot afford to live that way if you're serious about creating change. Focusing on what matters means you don't give equal time to everything. Not everything is urgent. Not everything deserves your full attention. You learn to prioritize. You put the big things first. You stop trying to do everything at once. And you stop chasing approval for doing what's right for you. When you focus, you grow faster. You think better. You feel more in control. You make fewer mistakes. You stop wasting energy on things that won't matter a year from now. People often confuse movement with progress. They confuse being busy with being productive. They check 100 tasks off a list and still feel stuck because they're doing a lot of small things and ignoring the 1 or 2 things that could actually shift their life. If you want to use your time wisely, you have to be honest with yourself. What's really helping you grow? What's really pushing you forward? Are you making progress, or are you just avoiding the hard stuff? Focusing on what matters will often require you to make hard choices. You might have to turn off distractions. You might have to limit your social time. You might need to step away from people who don't share your values. You may even feel misunderstood. But that discomfort is a small price to pay for a life built with purpose. You don't get the rewards of deep progress by living like everyone else. Your time will always go somewhere. It's either going to your priorities or someone else's. If you don't take control of it, the world will decide for you, and the world is full of noise, full of demands, full of opinions that will steer you in circles. That's why you have to decide every day what deserves your attention. Every morning is a reset. You can't carry yesterday's mistakes or distractions into today. You get to choose again. You get to focus again. Think about the times in your life when you felt proud of yourself, when you finished something important, when you followed through, when you stayed disciplined. Those moments didn't come from doing everything. They came from doing the right things, from being intentional, from focusing your energy where it counted. That's where your power is. That's where real change begins. Using time wisely is not about squeezing more into your day. It's about removing what doesn't belong. It's about simplifying your life so your energy can be used where it counts. You don't need to impress anyone with how busy you are. You need to build a life that aligns with your values, a life that reflects your priority, a life where your time is spent on things that give you peace, not pressure. Start each day by asking yourself one clear question. What matters most today? What one thing will move me forward? What needs my full presence? Then block time for that. Guard it. Show up for it. Turn your phone off if you have to. Close the door. Let people know you're not available. Because if you don't, everything around you will fight for your time. There are always going to be distractions. There will always be people who want your attention. There will always be tasks that feel urgent but lead nowhere. You can't stop them from coming, but you can decide what gets through. That's your responsibility. That's your power. When you stop letting every little thing take your energy, you begin to build momentum, and that momentum turns into progress. You don't need more time. You need more focus, more intention, more honesty about what actually matters. Spend less time checking boxes and more time doing what builds your future. Cut out the noise. Say no more often. Don't apologize for needing space. Don't explain why you're unavailable for distractions. You have a mission. You have a life to build, and that deserves your full attention. Using time wisely also means knowing when to rest, when to pause, when to recover. You can't give your best if you're constantly burned out. Resting is not wasting time. Resting is preparing your energy for what matters most. Don't feel guilty for taking care of yourself. That's part of the process too. You don't need to be working every hour to be valuable. You need to be working on the right thing. You can look back at your week and know exactly where your time went. Or you can keep wondering why you feel stuck. That choice is yours. Track your days. Evaluate your efforts. Keep what's working. Drop what isn't. Stop trying to please everyone. Start trying to become someone you're proud of. Your life becomes more powerful when your time serves a purpose. Every decision becomes easier. Every action becomes more meaningful. Because you know why you're doing it. You know what matters. You're not chasing attention. You're not seeking approval. You're building something solid. It all comes down to focus. You either control it or lose it. You either feed your future, waste your time. Use your time wisely by choosing your priorities over pressure. Choose discipline over noise. Choose growth over comfort. Choose what matters most. Number 4, take control of your day before it controls you. Every morning when you open your eyes, life hands you a set of hours. Those hours are neutral. They don't care what you do with them. They don't care if you waste them or use them. They won't slow down. They won't pause for your mood. They won't wait until you're ready. The day begins with or without your permission. That's why you have to take charge of it before it takes charge of you. If you wake up without a plan, without a decision, without clarity, then your day will be filled with reactions. You'll find yourself constantly responding instead of choosing. And that's how control slips away. The truth is, your habits in the first hour of your day say a lot about how the rest of it will go. If you wake up and immediately dive into chaos, you're setting the tone for distraction and disorder. If you begin your day checking messages, jumping between tasks, or rushing out the door, you're not in control. You're being pulled by everything outside of you. But if you start the day by choosing your direction, setting your intention, and owning your time, everything shifts. Taking control doesn't mean controlling everything. You can't stop life from throwing problems at you, but you can decide how you'll show up. You can decide what you'll focus on. You can decide which voice you'll listen to, and which distractions you'll shut out. You get to decide what you do first, what you delay, and what you ignore completely. That's where your power is. That's where the difference is made. People who don't take control of their day usually feel behind. They rush from one thing to the next. They don't finish what they start. They let urgency replace priority. Their time is constantly slipping through their fingers. At the end of the day, they feel like they were busy but accomplished very little. That happens when your day owns you, instead of the other way around. You were not made to drift through your hours, hoping to find motivation along the way. You were made to lead your hours with intention. That leadership begins the moment you wake up. Before you check your phone, before you respond to anything, you need to decide how your day will look. Write it down. Visualize it. Walk into your day with awareness, not guesswork. Don't leave it up to chance. There are people out there who will try to fill your schedule for you. There are notifications, emails, obligations, and distractions ready to steal your attention. If you don't protect your direction early, the day becomes a tug of war. You try to focus, but something pulls you away. You try to be productive, but interruptions take over. That's why your decisions in the early part of your day are so important. They shape everything that follows. Start with clarity. What are the 3 things you must complete today? What's the one thing that will move your life forward? What needs your full focus? Once you know that, schedule it early. Don't leave it for the evening when your energy is low. Tackle it when your mind is fresh. That one act of discipline, choosing your priority and doing it first, can change the entire flow of your life. Taking control also means knowing your limit. You're not meant to say yes to everything. You're not supposed to fill every moment with noise. Some people mistake chaos for progress. They stay busy all day and confuse that for growth. But true progress requires structure. It requires knowing when to pause, when to reset, and when to push. If you want to control your day, you need to know how to manage your energy, not just your time. It's easy to blame the day for how we feel. Easy to say the hours flew by, that things got out of hand, that we didn't have time. But often, it wasn't the day that caused the problem. It was the lack of preparation. When you don't take 5 minutes to plan, you lose hours in distraction. When you don't set your focus, everything becomes urgent. That's the price of living passively. You don't need to control every minute, but you do need to control your direction. You do need to know what matters and give it your attention before the day takes it from you. If you want peace, you need discipline. If you want results, you need structure. If you want to grow, you need to lead your schedule. Waiting until the afternoon to find your rhythm is too late. By then, the day has already set the tone. You must set it first. The strongest people are not the ones who get the most done. They're the ones who stay aligned with their purpose, even when life tries to pull them off track. They don't let random events or meaningless tasks consume their day. They wake up knowing what matters. They show up with focus. They follow through with commitment. And that's why they keep growing. When you stop letting your day run wild, you start creating real momentum. You stop feeling scattered. You stop ending your days with regret. You begin to experience progress, not just activity. You finish things that used to stay unfinished. You create space for what fuels you. And that space gives you clarity. You don't have to wait until your life is perfect to take charge. You don't have to feel motivated every morning. You just need to act. Wake up and decide to lead. Wake up and decide to be intentional. Don't let the noise reach you before your purpose does. Begin each day with discipline, not distraction. Begin each day with structure, not scrolling. Begin each day with a mindset to lead, not to follow. You have the right to protect your hours. You have the responsibility to choose how they're used. You are not a victim of time, you are its steward. That means your actions have to reflect that. Your calendar should be built around what truly matters. Your morning should create the pace for your priorities. Don't wait for energy. Don't wait for silence. Don't wait for the perfect situation. Just take action. Even one day lived with purpose can shift how you see your life. One focused morning can give you more clarity than a week of scattered effort. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Taking control becomes natural. You stop reacting. You start leading. You stop waiting. You start building. You start driving. And that decision made day after day is what separates the ones who move forward from the ones who stay stuck. Number 5. Invest your hours in goals, not distractions or noise. Every person is given the same 24 hours each day. The question is never how much time you have. The real question is where your time is going. Most people don't lose their day in one big event. They lose it in small decisions, scrolling for just a few minutes that turn into an hour. Saying yes to a call that adds nothing. Bouncing from one tab to the next without completing a single meaningful task. These distractions steal more than time. They steal your progress. They take away your ability to focus, and they leave you with very little to show for the hours that passed. You can't afford to spend your life reacting to noise. You have to choose to invest your hours in goals that mean something. You have to be deliberate with where your attention goes, because attention is fuel. If you spend that fuel on pointless content, shallow conversations, or constant interruptions, then there's nothing left for your purpose. And without consistent action toward your purpose, your confidence starts to shrink. The mind starts to believe that maybe nothing will ever change. But that's not because you can't do it. It's because your time is being spent in the wrong places. The world is louder than it has ever been. Everywhere you turn, there's another distraction, another opinion, another notification, another excuse to pause your work. If you don't take control of your hours, they'll get filled with other people's noise. That noise might look interesting. It might even feel urgent. But none of it builds your goals. None of it puts you closer to your dream. You have to be ruthless about where your time goes. Not someday, but today. Every hour you waste on something that doesn't matter is an hour you could have used to create something meaningful. When you invest your hours, you're thinking long term. You're not chasing comfort. You're not chasing instant pleasure. You're building. You're sacrificing short-term distraction for long-term reward. And yes, it takes discipline. But more than anything, it takes clarity. You can't invest your hours if you don't know where they need to go. You have to be clear on your goals, clear on the actions that matter, clear on the distractions you're done tolerating. You need to know what you want from your time before you can give your time what it deserves. You don't get momentum by being busy. You get momentum by being focused. It's easy to trick yourself into thinking you're productive just because you're always doing something. But movement is not progress if the movement is in the wrong direction. The goal is not to fill your schedule. The goal is to make your hours count. If an activity doesn't bring you closer to your goal, you need to start questioning why it's still part of your day. You don't owe every voice your attention. You don't owe every trend your reaction. You owe your goals the very best of your effort. People who achieve results don't work harder than everyone else every second of the day. What they do is use their time more effectively. They filter what matters from what doesn't. They wake up with purpose. They organize their time, so their goals always have a place in their day. Even if it's just 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes fully locked in. No multitasking, no distractions, no detours. They build their life around progress, not noise. There's a cost to every wasted hour, even if you don't feel it right away. For every hour given to something shallow, there's one less hour available to learn, to grow, to train, to build, to reflect, to develop the skills your future demands. Goals don't move forward on their own. They move forward when you show up consistently. Not when it's easy, not when everything is perfect, but every day. Even the tough ones. Especially the tough ones. Distractions are not always obvious. Sometimes they look like productivity, endless planning, without action, constant research with no execution, conversations about what you're going to do someday. These things feel like progress, but they are just another form of delay. You have to catch yourself when you fall into that loop. Ask yourself often, is this helping me move forward? If the answer is no, cut it out or put it aside. You have more control over your time than you think. You can set boundaries. You can schedule your work sessions. You can say no to distractions. You can train your focus by removing things that don't deserve it. Most people have never sat down to audit their time. They don't realize how much is being given away for free. Until they do that, their goals remain stuck in theory. They live in the land of "I'll start soon," but soon never comes for those who won't take ownership. You don't need to work all day. You need to work with intention. That means picking the 2 or 3 actions that truly matter and giving them your best energy. That means building habits that support your mission instead of sabotage it. That means being honest when you're slipping. You can't grow if you keep pretending that every task has equal weight. They don't. Some things matter far more. Those things need your best hours, not what's left at the end of the day. When you invest in your goals daily, even if it's not perfect, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence. That confidence fuels discipline. And that discipline keeps you going when motivation fades. It's a chain reaction, but it starts with how you use your time. One focused session today is more valuable than 5 scattered hours of distraction. One clear step toward your purpose has more power than 10 hours of scrolling. There's no shortcut around the truth. If you want results, you have to earn them. That means being intentional with every day. You don't have to change everything overnight, but you do need to start replacing noise with purpose. Start reducing the time you spend in meaningless loop. Replace it with something that brings you closer to the life you want. Write that goal down. Break it into steps. Carve out time for it. And protect that time like it matters. Because it does. Discipline is not built in huge leaps. It's built in the small hours. The hours when no one is watching. The moments when it would be easier to waste time, but you choose growth instead. That's what changes your future. Not words, not talk, not dreams. Daily actions backed by hours, invested with intent. When you start doing that, things begin to shift. You feel less overwhelmed. You start to believe again. You move forward, step by step, because your hours are finally being used where they belong. Number 6. Prioritize tasks that push you closer to success. If you want to change your life, you have to change how you work through each day. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is because they confuse activity with progress. They stay busy all day, but never stop to ask if what they're doing is actually helping them grow. You can spend an entire day doing low-value tasks and feel exhausted by the evening, but feeling tired is not the same as moving forward. The goal isn't to get more done. The goal is to get the right things done. You have to stop treating every task like it matters equally. It doesn't. Some things will move your life forward. Some things will keep you exactly where you are. If you want success, you must train yourself to see the difference. You have to step back and ask, what are the few key actions today that will make the biggest impact on my growth, my results, and my goals? When you find those, they become your priority. Not the emails, Not the notifications, not the distractions that pretend to be important, only the few things that truly shift your direction. Success is not random. It's a pattern built over time. 2. Repeated focus. If your focus is scattered, your results will be too. Prioritizing means deciding. It means letting go of doing everything so you can do what really matters. It means asking tough questions about how you're using your energy and being honest about what's helping and what's just keeping you busy. You can't move forward with purpose if your day is filled with random actions that lead nowhere. Some tasks make you feel productive because they're easy. They don't require focus. They don't demand courage. But those aren't the ones that change you. The tasks that push you closer to success usually feel uncomfortable. They stretch you. They ask for more. They challenge your thinking. That's why people often avoid them. But if you make those your top priority, you'll notice real growth. You'll start to see a difference not just in your work, but in how you feel about yourself. When you give your best hours to low-priority tasks, you drain the energy you need for what actually mattered. That's why so many people feel burnt out but still stuck. They've spent their strength in the wrong places. You can avoid that by planning your day around what's essential, not what's easy. The first thing you do each day should be connected to your future, not your comfort zone. Start the day with impact, and the rest of your time starts to work for you, not against you. Don't wait until the end of the day to work on your goals. By then, your focus is low, your energy is scattered, and your motivation has faded. You need to front-load your priority. Put the most important task first, not second, not after errands. First, because if you don't, something else will fill that time. And once that moment is gone, you rarely get it back. Success comes from protecting your high-value moments and putting them where they matter most. It's not just about doing more. It's about doing what matters most first. This means you need to become a master at filtering. Each morning, write down what you need to do. Then ask yourself, which of these tasks moves me forward? Which one helps me become stronger, smarter, more capable? Which one makes me a better version of myself? The rest can wait. The rest can be scheduled later or removed altogether. Not everything that screams for attention deserves your action. The more clarity you have, the easier it is to prioritize. Without clarity, you'll react to pressure instead of living by direction. That's why many people feel overwhelmed. They're not carrying too much. They're carrying the wrong things. If you want to lighten the load, drop the distractions and elevate the essential. Give yourself permission to stop doing things that don't serve your mission. Don't feel guilty for saying no. Feel proud that you're protecting your future. The tasks that lead to success are often the ones that require solitude, discipline, and time. Reading, writing, planning, building, learning, these don't shout for your attention. They sit quietly, waiting for you to choose them. Meanwhile, distractions come with urgency. Alerts, noise, but urgency is not always important. You have to retrain your mind to choose silence over noise, to choose effort over ease, to choose building over reacting. As you learn to prioritize, you start to build self-trust. You start to feel proud of how you use your time. You stop chasing every shiny object. You focus. You get things done that matter. That creates momentum. That builds confidence. Each day you choose your priorities. With intention, you become more disciplined. You stop living by emotion and start living by decision. You don't need a longer to-do list. You need a clearer one. One that's filtered through your goals. One that's based on results, not routine. Look at what you're doing each day and ask, is this bringing me closer to where I want to go? If not, rework your plan. You're allowed to change your schedule. You're allowed to upgrade your priorities. You're allowed to protect your mission. Start your day with power, not passivity. Don't open your phone before you open your mind. Don't react before you reflect. Don't respond before you review what truly matters. Take 5 minutes each morning to set your targets. Then attack the highest one with full attention. No distractions. No multitasking. Give it everything. Then move to the next. Not in a rush, but with focus. That's how you start winning more often. Success isn't built in one big leap. It's created through consistent decisions to act on what matters most. One important task each day leads to major change over time. Stop trying to do everything well. Do the right things with purpose. Pick the few actions that actually produce results, and commit to them deeply. Let the world be busy. Let others chase distraction. You chase progress. You have the ability to change your life by changing what you do each day. Don't underestimate the power of choosing your priorities. That choice determines how far you go. That choice decides what kind of person you become. Every task you choose is a message to yourself about what you value. Choose wisely. Choose growth. Choose direction. Choose the tasks that are worth your time, your energy, and your future. Number 7, cut out habits that steal your valuable minutes. You can't make time. You can't borrow it. And you definitely can't get it back once it's gone. That's why every minute counts. Not in theory, but in practice. If you take a closer look at how you spend your day, you'll see it's not the big events that steal your time. It's the little habits, the small routines that feel harmless but add up to hours of lost focus. The minutes you spend repeating patterns that do nothing for your future are the very minutes you'll wish you had back when the pressure is on and progress feels out of reach. These habits are often built quietly. They slip into your routine and become automatic. You reach for your phone without thinking. You open your laptop just to browse. You switch tasks for no reason. You delay important work by convincing yourself that a small distraction won't hurt. But it does hurt, because every delay is a broken promise to yourself. And the more often you break those small promises, the harder it becomes to trust your own discipline. You don't have to be perfect, but you do need to be aware. You need to see the patterns clearly and call them what they are. Time wasters. Momentum killers. Distractions disguised as comfort. The mind loves what's familiar, even when it doesn't serve you. That's why breaking these habits takes honesty first. You have to admit where your minutes are really going. If you keep blaming external reasons for your lack of progress while ignoring the internal habits that hold you back, you'll stay stuck. Cutting these habits out doesn't mean you become rigid or robotic. It means you start living with intention. You make space in your day for growth. You make space for work that matters. And that begins with removing what doesn't. Maybe it's constant checking of your phone. Maybe it's watching videos that entertain but don't educate. Maybe it's gossip, or overthinking, or second-guessing yourself into inaction. None of those things pay you back. None of them build your vision. If a habit doesn't give you clarity or confidence, it's taking more than it gives. The clock is running whether you use it or not. You can either use it to create or let it slip through your fingers. And the reason many people don't see progress is because they're allowing small habits to steal their attention, steal their discipline, and steal their minutes. One tap, one scroll, one excuse at a time. They delay what matters most by telling themselves they'll do it later. But later becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. And the cycle repeats until another year passes without change. You don't need a massive shift. You need consistent decisions to cut what drains you. The next time you find yourself caught in a low-value routine, stop and ask, does this move me forward? If the answer is no, step away. Build the discipline to replace it with something that serves your future. You don't even need to do something big in its place. You just need to stop feeding the habits that slow you down. Even 5 quiet minutes spent thinking, reading, planning, or reflecting will serve you more than 30 minutes lost in repetition. You can train your brain to value discipline over distraction. You can set limits on the things that waste your energy. You can remove access to apps or websites that consume your attention. You can build rituals that support your goals instead of delay them. You have more control than you've been taught to believe. Your environment matters. Your triggers matter. If the first thing you do every morning is reach for distraction, then you're starting your day with disconnection from your purpose. You're telling your mind that noise comes before focus. Every successful person has learned to protect their time by removing what weakens their direction. They understand that old habits can't carry new goals. That means replacing comfort with clarity, replacing endless entertainment with moments of action, replacing the rush of quick rewards with the quiet strength of daily progress. This is not about punishing yourself. It's about respecting your time. It's about honoring your vision. It's about refusing to let another day get eaten up by habits that never give anything back. People often think they lack time when what they really lack is clarity about what's stealing their time. Track how you spend each hour for just one day, and you'll see the empty minutes, the small pauses that turn into longer breaks, the mindless clicking that fills the spaces where growth could happen. When you see it, don't shame yourself. Just take responsibility. Cut it out. Get sharper. Build a better routine around what matters. You have to stop giving away your minutes to habits that serve no purpose. You are the gatekeeper of your time. You are the one who decides what enters your schedule. If you don't protect your minutes, they'll get taken. Not all at once, but slowly. A few here, a few there, until your energy feels scattered and your goals feel far away. The best way to reclaim your time is not just by adding more effort, but by removing what's draining your effort already. Start replacing these habits, one by one. If you check your phone every 10 minutes, set a timer and stretch it to 30. If you usually turn to a screen when you're bored, grab a notebook instead and write down one thing you want to improve. If you tend to drift into low-energy routines after lunch, stand up, move your body, and reset your focus. These small changes don't just add time, they build momentum, and momentum compounds. Every time you cut out a weak habit, you create space for something better. Every minute you protect becomes a brick in the foundation of your progress. You don't need to cut everything at once. You just need to start. One habit removed, one pattern replaced, one new standard for how you treat your time, then another and another, until your day reflects your values and not your distractions, until your energy is used for building, not escaping. Time is neutral. It doesn't choose sides. It flows whether you build with it or waste it. That choice is yours, and it shows up in your habits, in the little moments where you either move forward or move in circles. You won't feel the cost of a wasted minute right away, but you will feel the weight of hundreds of them when the results you want aren't showing up. That's why this matters. That's why discipline isn't optional. It's the price you pay to create a life that reflects your true potential. Number 8. Wake up early and start your day with intention. The moment you decide to rise before the world awakens, you take ownership of your day. Waking up early is more than just a habit. It is a declaration of control over your life. Those quiet hours before the noise begins offer something rare: space to think, plan, and prepare. Most people hit the alarm and immediately reach for distractions, letting the day's chaos pull them in before they have a chance to breathe. But choosing to wake early gives you the gift of time that belongs only to you. It allows you to set your pace, instead of reacting to the pace set by others. When you wake early, you're gifted a blank canvas. The hours ahead are unmarked and full of potential. You can decide what to fill them with. You can create your day, instead of letting your day create you. This time is your secret advantage. It's the difference between moving forward and standing still. The extra moments allow you to reflect on your purpose, review your goals, and make a plan that aligns with what you truly want to achieve. Starting the day with intention means waking up with a clear reason for your actions. It's not just about getting out of bed early. It's about waking up to something bigger than routine or obligation. When you have intention, every step you take in the morning leads you closer to your vision. You choose the thoughts you entertain, the tasks you prioritize, and the energy you bring. Without intention, mornings become a blur, a series of reactive moves driven by distraction and habit rather than choice. Most people waste the first part of their day by diving into emails, social media, or random entertainment. These activities might feel like waking up, but they're actually draining your energy. They pull your mind away from what matters and trap you in cycles of noise. The problem isn't that these things exist. The problem is that they claim your attention before you even decide what your day will look like. Waking early lets you claim that attention first. It lets you decide what gets your focus and what doesn't. Morning routines are powerful because they set the tone. When you start your day with intention, you feel in control. Your mind is calm and clear, ready to face challenges instead of being overwhelmed by them. You're less likely to be distracted because you have a plan and a purpose. Those early hours become moments of growth instead of minutes lost to routine. Over time, this builds resilience. It strengthens your ability to face whatever the day throws at you without losing sight of your goals. Discipline is key to making this habit stick. It's not always easy to get up early. The temptation to stay in bed, to hit snooze, or to delay the day's start is strong. But the people who decide to wake early know they are choosing a greater reward than comfort. They are choosing clarity, progress, and the chance to live with purpose. Discipline builds with every early morning you commit to. It becomes a muscle you strengthen daily. And the stronger that muscle gets, the easier it is to take charge of your entire day. Waking early also means you have more time to prepare your mind and body. Instead of rushing out the door or scrambling to catch up, you can start with calm actions that nourish you. Stretching, meditating, reading, journaling, or simply breathing deeply. All of these set a foundation of calm focus. You don't step into the chaos immediately. You give yourself a moment of peace. This peace carries you through the day, helping you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Most successful people across all fields share this habit. They understand the power of those quiet hours. They know that the world is full of distractions designed to steal their time and attention. They guard the morning fiercely because it is the cornerstone of their productivity. They build their routines with intention so their efforts are consistent and focused. And it's not about working longer hours, but about working better hours. You don't have to be a morning person naturally to benefit from this habit. Anyone can learn to wake early when they understand why it matters. It's about creating a life where your goals and values guide your actions, instead of the clock or outside pressures. When you start the day on your terms, you step into your power. You show up fully. You become the driver of your journey instead of a passenger. This habit transforms not just your productivity, but your mindset. It teaches patience, consistency, and respect for time. You start to see each day as an opportunity rather than a challenge. The early morning becomes a time to renew your commitment to your dream. It becomes a sanctuary where you can prepare for success. And that preparation makes everything that follows easier, clearer, and more focused. The best part about waking early with intention is that it doesn't require grand changes all at once. It starts with one day, 1 hour, one quiet moment. The key is to show up again the next day and the next. Consistency turns this small choice into a lifestyle. You train your body and mind to expect purpose from the start. You build momentum that carries you through setbacks and distractions. And you create a rhythm where your potential can thrive. As you embrace early mornings, you'll notice your energy shifting. You'll find yourself more motivated, more clear, and more confident. The rest of the world may still be asleep or rushing blindly, but you will be calm, focused, and ready. This difference isn't luck. It's the result of deciding to take control of your time before the day controls you. It's the power of waking up early and starting your day with intention. Number 9, track your time to see where it truly goes. Time is the most valuable resource we have, yet it is the easiest to overlook. Many people feel busy, overwhelmed, or stuck without really knowing why. One of the most powerful ways to gain control over your life is to track your time. When you record what you do each hour, you reveal the hidden patterns that shape your day. You see where your energy flows and where it drains away. You find out what's helping you and what's holding you back. This awareness is the first step to making real change. Most people think they know how they spend their time, but the truth is different. You might believe you're working hard, but the reality shows you spend hours on distractions. You may feel like you don't have enough time, but a closer look reveals pockets of wasted minutes. When you track your time honestly, you remove guesswork. You stop blaming vague excuses. You start seeing clear facts about your habits, choices, and priorities. Tracking your time doesn't have to be complicated. You can start with a simple notebook or a phone app. Write down what you do every 30 minutes or every hour. Include everything: work, breaks, social media, meals, errands, rest, and even moments when you feel distracted. Be honest with yourself. Don't skip the uncomfortable parts. This is not about judgment. It's about truth. When you face your day with honesty, you give yourself the power to improve. Once you gather your time data, patterns will emerge. You'll notice where you're productive and where you drift off. You might find out that you spend more time reacting to notifications than working on your goals. You could discover that your breaks are longer than your work sessions, or that social media eats up hours without you realizing. This information is crucial because it shows exactly what needs to change. Understanding where your time goes is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you see the obstacles and the opportunities. You can start making smarter choices about your schedule. Instead of guessing what to cut, you cut the actual time wasters. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by a long to-do list, you focus on using your best hours for meaningful work. You can replace guesswork with strategy and hope with action. The process of tracking time also teaches you discipline. It trains you to be present and aware. When you know you'll be checking in with yourself, you become more mindful of how you spend each moment. This awareness makes you less likely to fall into autopilot habits. Instead of moving through your day without thought, you start living intentionally. This is how you take control of your time instead of letting it control you. People who track their time often find they have more time than they thought. The problem isn't that there isn't enough time, but that it's hidden in habits that don't serve their goals. They reclaim these lost minutes by setting boundaries and creating focus blocks. They schedule their days around priorities instead of distractions. When you see your time clearly, you start protecting it fiercely. Time tracking also highlights how interruptions affect your flow. You might see that a quick chat or an unexpected phone call breaks your concentration for much longer than you realized. This knowledge helps you plan better. You can set limits on interruptions or find ways to batch tasks together. You begin to build routines that support deep work and sustained focus, which leads to better results in less time. Another important benefit of tracking time is learning your natural rhythms. You might discover that your energy peaks in the morning and dips after lunch, or that you do your best creative thinking late at night. This insight lets you schedule your toughest tasks when you're most alert and save easier tasks for low energy periods. Working with your natural cycles rather than against them improves your effectiveness and reduces burnout. Many people avoid tracking time because they fear what they'll find. They worry it will reveal laziness or lack of discipline. But facing the truth is empowering. It means you're ready to change. It means you refuse to stay stuck in patterns that don't serve your future. The discomfort of honesty is temporary. The results of awareness last a lifetime. You don't have to track your time forever. Even doing it for a few days or a week can bring huge clarity. After that, you can make adjustments and check in occasionally to keep yourself on track. The key is to be consistent and truthful during the tracking phase. No excuses, no rationalizing, just facts. Once you understand your time use, you can also set goals around it. For example, you might aim to reduce social media from 2 hours a day to 30 minutes, or to increase focused work sessions from 3 to 5 hours. Setting specific targets helps you measure progress and stay motivated. It's easier to make changes when you see improvement in numbers, not just feelings. Tracking time reveals not only where your minutes go, but also what you value. If you spend hours on something unimportant, it's a signal that your habits don't align with your goals. This is a chance to realign, to decide what truly deserves your attention, and what you can let go. The more you align your time with your values, the more satisfied and fulfilled you become. The process of time tracking builds respect for your own day. You learn that every minute is an opportunity to invest in your future, or to waste potential. You start guarding your time like a valuable asset. This respect leads to better decisions. You choose quality over quantity. You stop overcommitting. You learn to say no to distractions without guilt, because you understand the cost. Many successful people credit tracking their time as a turning point in their productivity. It's a simple yet powerful tool that creates space for growth. It helps them identify habits that need to change and actions that need to increase. It makes their days more intentional, focused, and effective. When you track your time, you take the first step toward mastery of your life. You break free from unconscious routine. You start making choices that serve your dreams instead of distract from them. You begin to live with purpose in every hour. And when you do that consistently, you move closer to the success you desire. Number 10, say no to things that do not grow you. Every moment you spend on something that doesn't move you forward is a moment lost forever. Saying no is not about being negative or shutting opportunities down without thought. It's about protecting your future, your energy, and your focus. Growth requires that you make choices every day. Not all choices are equal. Some lead to progress. Others lead to distraction. Learning to say no to the things that don't help you grow is a powerful skill. It is a way of respecting your own potential and valuing the time you have. People often struggle with saying no because they fear missing out or disappointing others. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your purpose, you are saying no to something that does. This trade-off happens quietly but with a big cost. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you fill your time and energy with things that don't grow you, you leave nothing left for the things that matter most. Saying no allows you to create space for what will make you better, stronger, and more capable. Growth is about focus. It requires time spent learning, practicing, reflecting, and pushing beyond your comfort zone. If your schedule is packed with tasks, events, or people that don't challenge you or help you improve, you won't grow. It's that simple. The word no is a boundary. It says I'm committed to my goals. I'm serious about my future. I'm willing to protect what matters by letting go of what doesn't. Sometimes the hardest no is to your own habits or desires. Saying no to distractions, to easy pleasures, to comfort zones that feel safe but keep you stuck. These no's require discipline and courage. They require a vision of your future that is bigger than your current comfort. When you say no to what doesn't grow you, you say yes to your own potential. You tell yourself that your dreams are worth fighting for, even if it means discomfort or temporary sacrifice. You don't owe everyone your time and energy. People will always ask for your attention, your help, or your presence. But your first responsibility is to yourself. You have to decide what aligns with your values and goals. Saying no is a way of honoring that commitment. It's a way of keeping your promises to yourself. This doesn't mean you become selfish or closed off. It means you become selective. You learn to distinguish between what drains you and what fuels you. When you say no to things that don't grow you, you also gain clarity. You start to see your path more clearly. You stop chasing distractions disguised as opportunities. You avoid spreading yourself too thin. Instead, you concentrate your energy on tasks, relationships, and experiences that challenge and develop you. This clarity brings peace. It reduces overwhelm. It strengthens your confidence because your actions align with your goals. It's important to remember that growth is personal. What doesn't grow one person might be valuable to another. Saying no is about your unique journey, not following someone else's path. This means you must know yourself well. You must understand what helps you learn, improve, and advance. You must recognize what holds you back or wastes your energy. Self-awareness is the foundation for powerful no's. No is a tool for building boundaries that protect your growth. Boundaries keep you focused. They keep you energized. They keep you moving forward. Without boundaries, you risk being pulled in many directions at once. You risk losing sight of your goals. You risk feeling exhausted without progress. Saying no helps you avoid that trap. It creates structure and order in your life. Learning to say no also teaches you how to say yes more effectively. When you remove the things that don't grow you, you free up time and energy to say yes to the things that do. You say yes to learning new skills, building meaningful relationships, and tackling challenges that stretch you. This selective yes is what turns potential into reality. It's the difference between drifting and thriving. It's natural to want to please others or avoid conflict, but your growth requires honesty. You have to be honest with yourself and those around you about what you can and cannot take on. Saying no respectfully and firmly is a sign of maturity and self-respect. It shows you value your time and your goals enough to protect them. Over time, this honesty builds trust, both with yourself and with others. The process of saying no becomes easier the more you practice. It doesn't have to be harsh or rude. It can be kind and clear. You can say no without burning bridges. You can set limits while maintaining respect. The important thing is that you stand firm. Your no is a declaration that your growth is your priority. Every no strengthens your ability to focus and creates more space for success. Saying no also helps you avoid burnout. When you try to do everything or say yes to every request, you risk overwhelming yourself. This leads to stress, exhaustion, and loss of motivation. Saying no keeps your energy balanced and your mind clear. It allows you to bring your best self to the tasks and relationships that deserve it. Growth is a journey of choices. Every yes and no shapes the path. You have the power to decide which directions you take. Saying no is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It's a way of putting your time, energy, and focus where they truly belong. When you say no to what doesn't grow you, you clear the way for the person you're meant to become. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to start saying no. The moment you decide your growth matters, you can start by identifying the things in your life that drain your time or energy without adding value. Then you can practice saying no to those things gently but firmly. This is how you reclaim your time. This is how you take control. This is how you live a life aligned with your deepest goals. Every no you give is a step closer to the success you want. It builds strength and clarity. It makes your days more intentional and your actions more powerful. Saying no is not just about stopping something. It's about starting something better. It's about choosing yourself and your future every day.